Do what you are told, nothing more and nothing less. Give all of your power and all of your decisions to someone else, like progressive leaders of tomorrow, like the Democratic Party, like the Democratic Socialists of America. Give up your rights and your individuality and just obey. And because they want to make sure that happens, they suppress channels like this one. And they say, oh, you can't say that. Yes, I can. I'm an American citizen. I have the First Amendment. Of course I can. Oh, that's misinformation. I'm quoting left-leaning news media, and I'm providing actual events that are happening. I have the documentation. I have the links. Yes, I can say that. I can make conclusions based on the facts that are in front of us. The history and the documentation from the government, from states, from newspapers, I can. But they don't want you to do that. So they suppress this channel. That means please like, share, and subscribe. If you can afford it. I know we're in a recession. We have been since August of 2022. If you can, and you can afford $1.50 a month, great. Join my Patreon. I wish I could do more for my Patreon members, but join the Patreon. It's $1.50 a month. It's not even a coffee at Starbucks. That's it. $1.50 a month. I think most Americans can afford that, but you don't have to. Subscribe instead. Share and subscribe. I love that, and I appreciate that. And that's free. Now, let me move on to, and I want to remind you, who are they saving? Who are the Broome County, the progressive leaders of tomorrow, the far left, the Democratic Party? Who are they trying to protect? Colorado Apartment is going to, the entire complex is going to close down because of Venezuelan gangs that took over 4 apartment complexes. And this is the problem of the state of Colorado and the local community in Aurora, Colorado. I'm talking about the police force. The government mandated that these groups could not be removed. Let me quote again from this article from USA Today. Quote, the edge of Lowry Apartments is a epicenter for unmitigated violent crimes and property crimes perpetuated by a criminal element that has exerted control and fear over others residing in this apartment complex. This is coming from the Aurora Police Chief Todd Chamberlain, who had his hands tied because the state of Colorado, the city of Aurora and Boulder are sanctuaries for illegal aliens. They refused to allow these illegal aliens, these violent gangs that were predators on American citizens, they were protecting them. Why? Why? Now, what's the result? American citizens have to be, over 60 apartment units have to be closed down, and everyone has to be kicked out. You've now increased the homelessness in your community. You've increased the amount of unemployment in your community because you let gangs take over people's homes and to force them into paying rent just to live. And that's on top of the rent they pay anyway. This is the abuse. And this is because we had an open border. Because Obama and Biden and Harris opened the border and said, no, come on in. Come into America. And they went to Colorado. And the gangs went to Colorado. And they said, oh, we want this. And if there's no law that stops me from coming into this country, if there's no law that says I have to go back, I can't get punished, why can't I just take it because I want it? Why should they start following certain laws when every other law has been thrown out the book for them? They are special. The law doesn't apply to them because the law hasn't applied to them. The left doesn't like to talk about this. Democrats don't like to talk about this. These people, remember how the Democrats always say, no one is above the law, except maybe the Biden family when they get a pardon. No one's above the law. But yet these Venezuelan gangs, these Colombian gangs, these Mexican gangs, these Angolan and Russian gangs, gangs from around the world, criminals from around the world, they are being treated as if they're above the law. Because when they get in trouble, the law doesn't apply. Think about that. Is that the way it's supposed to be? Is that what the Constitution is about? Is that what it is for you? Do you want to live in a world where other people can assault you, they can steal from you, they can punish you, they can attack you, and you don't have any right in your own country to protect yourself? Is that really what you want for you, your kids, your brother, your sister, your mom, your children? Is that really what you want? Does that make any sense at all? And do you think that would ever stop? Oh, well, we passed a law. Why does it matter? The other laws didn't matter, so why does a new law matter? The left never wants to answer that. Why should anyone be afraid of the next law when the last law didn't apply? It was subjective. It was an option. And now this next law is mandatory? For who? When? And why should I think it ever applies? They never want you to think about that. They never think of what's the consequence to a society when laws only sometimes apply to only certain people in only certain situations. That's how you create corruption. That's how you create bias. That's how you create prejudice. Because certain things are beneficial to some people some of the time, and everyone else gets screwed. Democrats are creating this problem. Progressives are creating this problem. The far left is creating this problem. The indoctrination from colleges, where kids are supposed to be taught to think, have never considered the consequences. They're running around protesting for terrorists, Hamas, without thinking about, and then what happens? You're protesting for a group of people who would genocide the very students at Harvard and Columbia and all the other colleges. They're protesting to protect criminals that have killed other college students and people across this nation. But it's not that many. Does it have to be? What's the number? Let me ask that question. Let me bring this up. For everyone on the left that are like, oh, but Mike doesn't get it. What is the number of American citizens that have to be abused and or killed before you think it's too much? Okay? How many crimes must each individual illegal alien commit before you think it's important to enforce the existing law? Oh, no one ever asked the left that. No one ever asked any of the left-leaning politicians that. Hey, Pelosi, you want to answer me? Hey, Chuck Schumer, Kirsten Gillibrand, you're senators for New York State. Do you want to answer my question? I'll ask the same thing of Kathy Hochul or Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, J.B. Pritzker, Josh Shapiro out of Pennsylvania. I'll ask all of you guys that. Please tell me, how many crimes are okay before the law kicks in and is enforced? How violent can these people be? How much debt must each city incur? How much money out of my pocket must be taken by the government to provide for these illegal aliens that we never invited into our country? Give me the answers. Don't tell me that, oh, well, it's our obligation. No, it's not. Oh, but Mike, you got to understand, they're living in poverty. There's a lot of people living in poverty around the world. I don't hear anyone talking about the people who are in poverty in Greece.